Hello and welcome to the lecture series on Railways, Harbour, Tunnelling and Airport for the subject code 18 CV 645, Module 1, Session 4. In this session, we are going to discuss about the sleeper, functions of sleepers, requirement of sleeper and its type, advantages and disadvantages of a sleeper, and lastly, the sleeper density and references. Moving on to the definition of a sleeper. Sleeper is a member which is laid transferred to the rails on which they are supported and fixed with the fixtures in order to transfer the loads, the vertical loads coming on it from the rail to the ballast and to the subgrade. So, this member is going to be intermediate, it is laid in a transverse direction. So, the member may be of a wood or a concrete or a steel structure. So, we defined the sleeper. So, moving on to the functions of a sleeper. So, we are going to discuss one by one. So, sleepers are going to be the transverse member, it is made from any type of a material. So, whatever the material we are going to be using it. First one, the sleeper should hold the rails in the proper gauge. It should maintain the distance between the two rails equally. So, exact in functions, exact in straight and also in curved path and also in sharp curve. So, this is going to be helpful for the ease movement of a locomotive has been concerned. So, next one, the sleepers should hold the rails in proper level. So, proper level means, so it is going to be providing the chair for the proper leveling of rails which is being fixed, so that we can avoid the travel tilt in turnouts and also crossover, and hence 1 in 20 the tilt is going to be provided. So, for the straight track. So, that is also one more function to interpose an elastic media. So, in between the ballast and the rail, the sleepers are going to be acting it to distribute the load from the rail to the ballast and rail ballast to the underlying or to the girders in case of a bridges. So, it is going to be a load transfer mechanism to support the rails at a proper level. So, for a straight track and a proper super elevation and a curve, the sleeper should provide a proper chair for that one. Next, sleepers also add a general stability for the permanence of a track as a whole. So, it means that the sleeper should have stability point of view. So, these are all going to be the functions of a sleeper. So, just I will brush it out. So, the sleepers should hold the gauges in position, it should be in a proper level, it should interpose the elastic media and distribute the load to wider area, and it should have stability for the permanency of a track has been concerned. So, as we are discussed about the function, moving on to the requirement of a sleeper. The sleeper which are going to be used for the construction should be economical, that is minimum cost for the initial investment and also from the maintenance cost. The fittings of the sleeper should be such that they can be easily adjusted during the maintenance operation, such as for lifting, packing and removal and replacement. So, this is the thing we have been looking for, the sleepers has been concerned. The weight of the sleeper should not be heavier or excessively light, it should not be too light. So, it will due to the battering action it may going to be cut out, or otherwise if it is going to be heavy, the lifting is going to be difficult in case of laying or maintenance work. Hence, it should have a moderate weight. So, the weight of the sleeper should be moderate. Next, the design of a sleeper should be such that the gauge alignment of the track and level of the rails can be easily adjusted and maintained. It means the gauge alignment whatever we are going to be providing over the sleeper, the designs for sleepers are so designed, so it should be easily adjusted. Next point, the bearing area of the sleepers below the rail seat and over the ballast should be enough. It should resist the crushing of a rail. So the proper strength or crushing strength is going to be provided, that is with respect to rail seat, over the ballast and underneath the sleeper. The sleeper design and the spacing should be such as it should facilitate easy for the removal and easy for the replacement of the ballast. So whatever the ballast it has been underlaid for the cushion, it should be from the maintenance, it can be easily removed and it can be easily replaced. Next is the sleeper should have anti-sabotage and anti-theft features. So that is the thing. So next point will be the types of sleepers. So as we discussed from the definition, functions and a requirement, so we are going to be having a different types of sleeper. So this is based on the material what we are going to be used for the sleeper. So in the earlier days, as we know that there is a forest, so the wood availability is going to be greater. So the beginning of the sleeper is started our journey with respect to the wooden. Next is with respect to the timber. So in this category, that is a wooden or a timber sleeper, we are going to be having a hardwood such as a teak or a sal, or if it is going to be a softwood, it may be deodar or it is going to be chair. Suppose the disadvantages of a wooden or a timber is going to be moved to the next type of a material, so that is metal type. So in the metal we are going to be having a cast iron and steel sleepers. So whatever the disadvantages, it's come over with a metal sleeper. So next material, that is a advanced material or more durable material we are going to be using, it is going to be a concrete. So in the concrete we are going to be having a two types, so that is a reinforced concrete type, next one is a pre-stressed concrete type. So in the pre-stressed concrete we are going to be having a monoblock pre-stressed, or it is going to be monoblock post tension. So these are the different types of sleepers we are been using it, so namely depending upon the materials what we are going to be using it. Moving to the first type, that is a wooden type. So as I explained, so that is in the early days or in the beginning of a railway network, the rails sections are placed over the wooden sleepers. So we can see the wooden sleepers are going to be there, so that is the rail section and a ballasting. So this is going to be somewhat economical, as we said the forests are going to be abundant on those days, and where railway journey has been started, and also technical and environment reasons, so new wooden sleepers are going to be prohibited because of environmental issues. So we talk about the advantages. So as we know that wood is going to be naturally available and it is going to be the cheaper and easy to manufacture according to our dimensions. So that is just if you are going to be cut whatever the wood or the timber, that is going to suffice our function. So as it absorbs the shocks and bears a good capacity for the dampen vibrations, therefore it retains the underlaid packing, that is a ballast, for a longer duration. So it is going to be easily handled without any damages, suitable for track circuited sections, it is going to be used as a material. It is also suitable for the areas with yielding and formation. Alignment can be easily corrected, so that is one more advantage of wooden sleeper. So it can be used with or without the ballast. Next can be used on a bridge and also the ash pit, and also it is going to be ventilated tracks if it is going to be there. so we can use the wooden sleeper. So these are going to be the advantages of wooden sleeper. So if you are going to be having advantage, so each material is going to be having some disadvantages. Similarly, in the wooden sleeper, so the first one is going to be the lifespan, or what we are going to be say, the durability point of view. So as we know that it is going to be decayed, or it is going to be vermin attack. So due to change in the moisture, so that is going to be highly susceptible for this type of wear and decay. Hence the lifespan is going to be lesser. Next, it is going to be liable for mechanical wear due to the beater of a packing. So that is going to be the another disadvantage. So it is difficult to maintain the gauges because of wear and tear. It is easily susceptible for fire hazardous, and it is going to be having negligible scrap value. That is going to be not at all going to be having a scrap value. So as life expectancy is lesser, and due to weather effect, so it is going to be losing its strength as compared to its original strength or dimension. So these are going to be the disadvantages. So as the wood is going to be having certain disadvantages, so next we are going to be using higher strength and more durable material as a sleeper. So that is going to be the steel. So as we know that, so the forest is going to be started decreasing, and the usage of wood is increasing. So it falls to shortage of wooden sleeper as thought, and also from durability, steel channel sleepers are developed from the Indian Railway, particularly which are going to be used in girder bridges. So that is the beginning. So if we look at the advantages, so it is going to be having a long life or more durable. It can be easily maintained, good lateral rigidity, less damage during the handling and transport, simple in manufacturing process, it is a good scrap value, and free from decay as in case of vermin attack for the wooden sleeper. So it is going to be free. Next, if you are going to be say advantage, we should look for the disadvantages also. The first is going to be the corrosion. So as we know that due to the moisture variation and temperature, so that forms a corrosion. So that is, as a steel is a material, so it is going to be easily corroded. So it is unsuitable for the track of circuited tracks area. It is going to be liable to become a center bone, and also it develops some cracks seat during its lifespanning, and design is going to be real specific. So these are the two images. So just I want to show it with a pointer here. So this is a steel sleeper where we are going to be having a central curvilinear path, and we are going to be fixing the rail sections here. So that is with respect to steel sleepers has been concerned. So next, moving on to the another type, that is a cast iron or SCI sleepers has been concerned. Just have few points with respect to advantages of cast iron sleeper. It is undergo less corrosion as compared to the sleeper steel sleeper as concerned, and also it is less probability of a cracking of the rail seat. They are easy to manufacture. It is having high scrap value as been concerned. Disadvantages of this steel sleeper is going to be gauge maintenance is difficult as the bar gets bent. It provides less lateral stability, unsuitable for track circuited line. So once again, it is a non-conductive material, not very suitable for mechanical maintenance, and susceptible for the breakages. So that is with respect to the cast iron sleepers has been concerned. So these are the images of cast iron sleeper. So one is with respect to pot type, and another one is going to be the CST sleeper. So in the pot type, the sleepers are going to be fitted with the keys and also the clip. These are going to be the keys. We are going to be providing it. So with respect to the tie bar, so here we are having a tie bar here. So it is going to be fixing the sleepers, that is with a cast iron, that is called as a pot type. So another type is going to be the CST type. So moving on to the next type of a sleeper, that is a concrete sleeper. So due to the increase in the traffic and advantages of or the durability of the concrete has been concerned, so whatever the problems or the deficiency or the disadvantages of previous materials, it may be wood or a cast iron if you are concerned, so those problems are going to be eliminated. So whatever the problem it has been associated with our design, so hence the concrete sleepers are going to be more economical in construction, and it is going as emerged as an alternative material for the sleepers. So looking at the advantages, because of its heavy weight, strength and stability for the track is going to be a good. So with the elastic fastening, it allows track maintenance for the better gauges and cross levels and also the alignment. So due to its weight, good packaging is going to be done. So it can be used in the track circuited area, so it's non-conductive material. These sleepers are going to be neither subjected to the fire, so hence it is going to be or it is going to be not attacked by any pest or corrosion. So that is in the normal condition. So that is one more advantage compared to the previous sleeper materials has been concerned. So it can be produced in a mass and it can be transported easily. So that is the advantage of concrete sleepers. So as it is having advantages, so it can be having some disadvantages, namely handling and placement, and due to a heavier cross sections or a heavier weight, so the handling and laying difficulty is going to be there. So it requires a mechanical method of laying as compared to the manual method of all the labors. So damage is a hemi if it is going to be a derailed. Next, is not suitable for a better packing. So this is going to be the disadvantage of concrete sleepers. So as we know that we have discussed about different materials and sleepers. So according to Indian Railway, so the percentage of compositions of a rails, what we are going to be using it. So in the Indian rails has been concerned, so 94.2% is going to be the concrete sleeper. Cast iron is only a 4% and sleeve sleeper is 1.5%, 0.3. So wherever narrow gauge is there still existing, it's only 0.3%. So that is a concrete sleepers are going to be in majority. So it may be in case of broad gauge network has been concerned. So this is a particular type of sleepers and its compositions throughout our Indian rail network. So as it is been defined in Indian Railways. So the broad gauge, so usually we are going to be concerned about concrete sleepers. So next concept is going to be sleeper density. So it is not a material density. So sleeper density can be defined as indicated by the letter. So m of x, or it is going to be n plus of x. So we are going to be representing by using the letter m plus x or n plus x. So where x is going to be the number of sleeper required in excess of in meter. So that is going to be ideal length of a meter. So in the previous sessions I had discussed. So for broader gauge we are concerned about it's going to be some 13 meters for calculation. So similarly if it is going to be meter gauge, so we had discussed in the previous section. So that is going to be the number of sleepers which is going to be required according to our calculation. So that is just adding the number with reference to some additional sleeper. So that combinations we are going to be called as a sleeper density. So it is going to be number of sleepers which is going to be required. So that is represented an algebraic sum of m plus n x or n plus x. So for the standard, that is what I had explained, for a BG track it is usually m plus 4. So m plus 4 means, so whatever the number of sleepers or the rail length we are going to be using it, it is going to be m is the rail length, so that is 13.00 meters of a rail. So next number of sleepers required for rail length is going to be 70 number of sleepers. So that is when it is going to be on a straight track. Suppose if it is going to be joints or rail joints or the curves, if you are going to be concerned, so we are going to be increasing plus 1, so that is going to be m plus 5. So that is especially in a curve, say for a broad gauge, so in the curved section or a rail joint it is going to be 18. So whereas in case of straight track it is going to be 70 numbers of sleepers are going to be required. So these sleeper density are going to be used in the calculations of materials required for the construction of a permanent phase. So try to remember this formula m plus x or n plus x, and also the length of the sleeper it is going to be using length of a rail it is going to be used for the construction. So that is 13 meter for the broad gauge. So try to remember this. Suppose if it is been in the curved section, try to increase by one number, that is going to be m plus 5. So that is going to be the sleeper density. So the sleeper density is going to be depend upon so many factors. So namely it is going to be the axial load. So whatever the axial load we are going to be using coming over it. Next is going to be the design speed. So axial load is going to be in terms of tons, and speed is going to be measured with respect to kilometers per hour. So increase in speed is going to be increase in sleeper density, and also the tonnage capacity of the track. So in what method we are going to be providing the joint, it is going to be a straight or a staggered, or it is going to be a bridge, so or it is going to be hanging, whatever the thing we are going to be providing it with respect to the type of joint, the sleeper density is going to be required. Ballast type, so what are the different types of ballast and depth of cushion we are going to be providing, so that is also going to be taken into account. Then the type of a sleeper, so which type of sleepers we are going to be using it, so that is going to be concerned with respect to the sleeper density. Next is the packing space. So in between the packing space, what we are going to be providing the sleeper and the ballast is going to be varies from 305 mm to 355 mm, except at the rail joint. So usually we are going to be talking about the packaging spaces is going to be 305 mm to 355 mm. So this is what we are going to concern about the sleepers, different types of sleepers, their functions and advantages and disadvantages, then sleepers, sleeper density, and the factors on which the sleeper density is going to be depend upon. So all these are covered in this session. So for references, same references, that is Saxena and Subhash C, Satyapal Arora, A Course of Railway Engineering, and Satish Chandra and Agarwal MM Railway Engineering book. So next, the web references also used to prepare this session. Thank you.